Hey guys, Samurai here. I'm back with another video. There's an influx of characters in the Pokemon anime. There's some good and some bad. And then there's the ones with lost potential, or those that are forgotten. This series aims to rewrite bad or forgotten characters with new teams, a whole new origin, and hopefully turning them something passable. This is Pokemon Rewritten. I took a character with missed or was just plain bad and show what they could have been like. So today I'm going to be doing Tobias, arguably one of the most divisive characters. Let's get started. First we'll cover his origin. Like any good character, he needs an origin. So Tobias is a trainer from the Johto region. He often studies many Sinnoh myths and legends such as Cresselia, Azoth, and the Creation Hero, etc. But his favorite has always been the mythical Pokemon Darkrai, for his purpose of taking away nightmares, but is often misunderstood, very similar to Tobias, as he always was judged based on his sinister looking appearance. But it never discouraged him from becoming a trainer. When he turned age 10, he chose Totodile. And something that I must mention is that, very similar into the games, Mr. Pokemon also gave Tobias an egg of a Pokemon he caught in a faraway region. Well, not caught, well got, in a faraway region. Anyways, Tobias heads to Sinnoh as soon as he becomes more experienced with his team. So on the start of his journey, after becoming more experienced with his team, as I just said before, he heads to the Sinnoh region and makes his way to New Moon Island. This is the island we saw in the Darkrai event, and I know you can only reach it through dreams, but come on, I'm limited by how much. But after hearing people's rumors of a black Pokemon causing local distress and nightmares, he believes this to be Darkrai. I mean, that pretty much fits the bill. On arrival, he starts to feel drowsy, but he has studied Darkrai for most of his life and has came prepared with a Noctowl to prevent him from falling asleep, along with his Pokemon. He's determined to capture Darkrai in this battle. Sadly, he does lose, but Darkrai does admire his determination and wants to become partners with him, very similar to Go catching in, because they showed respect and they grew a bond. Now they have become partners. So Tobias' team so far is Darkrai, Croconaw, Metagross, Noctowl, Arcanine, and the egg from Mr. Pokemon. He's going through the gym challenge pretty easily until around Fantina, when he hears rumors of an Azure Jet around the outskirts of Route 201. This Azure Jet is Latios, of course. And this is the first battle Tobias ever had with Darkrai. Darkrai is a mythical Pokemon, so I don't think Tobias, knowing the respect Darkrai holds, would use it for gym battles. He would clearly use it for very serious battles, and I think Latios is worthy of that. But this is their first battle, and Latios' attacks are brutal. They can't put it to sleep because Latios is too fast, but they eventually come up with a plan of using Double Team and then putting it to sleep that way. They come up on top, lure it into a trap, and they captured. He replaces Noctowl on the squad because honestly, Latios is just better than Noctowl in every way. And after all that chaos, the egg hatches. It becomes a Zora. Yes, I gave Tobias a Unova Pokemon. Now, I think the reason why I gave him a Zora is because, come on, look at him. That is some serious color coordination if you ask me. But back to the story. The rest of his journey follows pretty nice. He gets the necessary badges, though he does challenge Brandon to a battle very similar to Paul did. While he doesn't win, he ends up defeating Registeel. Brandon, because very similar to him, Brandon studied lots of myths and legends and is trying to capture Regigigas at this point, and he's quite interested, so maybe after the league he could come back and challenge Brandon, maybe help him with his research. But he continues on the journey until he meets Volkner. Yes, this is Volkner after he faced Ash, so he was still having battles at this point. And now this battle is a tough one for sure because, as I said before, Tobias does not like using the legendaries he has on his team for gym battles. But this time, Zora evolves into Zorek to win against Volkner. This is one of the few times that Tobias had to use Latios in a battle just to defeat his Luxray, but it was Zoroark versus Electrovite that decided the gym battle. Also, I have to mention is Latios. Due to Latios' untrusting nature, him and Tobias really don't click. But before the league, like the same time Ash was training with Kenny, not training but battling Kenny, that kind of time frame of area, he was already on the Lovely Valley Island, but in a very secluded private area. They try to focus on learning Luster Purge, Latios' signature move, but Tobias doesn't use the typical method. He uses more of Ash's method, having Hyper Beam, using Latios' psychic abilities, turning Hyper Beam into Luster Purge. And eventually they do grow a bond because they are eventually able to learn this move. His team going into the league is Darkrai, Latios, Zoroark, Metagross, Arcanine, and Feraligatr. And everything goes to the same until the semifinals, where he faces Ash. Ash sends out Heracross against Darkrai, and the battle starts. Now, I have to clarify something. I'm going to schedule the battle a bit different. Pikachu and Sceptile will still get their feats that they got from this battle, but it will be quite different. For instance, they're going to be the first 3 Pokemon that are going to be eliminated from Ash's team. Now let me get back to the story. Now, after Heracross deals a powerful Mega Horn to Darkrai, Ash calls it back for Sceptile. Sceptile's wins still play the same. He goes to sleep but then one-shots it. Ash sends out Pikachu and Tobias sends out Latios. And it's pretty much the same. Yeah, so let's go back to... Now let's actually start with a real battle. Tobias sends out his Metagross and Ash sends out his Torkoal. It's an overheat versus Hyper Beam collision with Torkoal coming out on top, but his firepower was greatly weakened from this. Tobias sends out Feraligatr to gain a quick and easy win, followed by him sending in Arcanine and Ash sending in Swellow into battle. That's a battle of quick attack against extreme speed, but Swellow is able to tie it with Arcanine, followed by Ash sending out Gibble and Tobias using Zoroark, and ended up with Gibble using his signature Draco Meteor to knock out Zoroark, making reference to when Tobias said if this was any other Pokemon, Gibble would have likely locked it out. Tobias sends out Feraligatr and knocks out Gibble with no issue, and Ash sends out his final Pokemon being Heracross against Feraligatr, who is just overpowering Heracross with its moveset being Thrash, Hydro Pump, Superpower, and Ice Fight. It's clear to see why Heracross is having a hard time. But Heracross does eventually learn close combat to help combat Feraligatr, of course. And it goes toe-to-toe with Thrash and trading blows. And they go for one last blow between Superpower and Focus Punch. And the dust clears. Heracross goes down. And Tobias, with his first Pokemon that he started his journey with, goes on to win the league. And that was Tobias's Rewritten. I had a phenomenal time writing this, but let's cover something. Time to cover Tobias's team. Tobias's team, I had to actually think about it, and I'm about to give reasons for why I gave Tobias everything. First, Darkrai and Latios. He had it in the original anime, and usually, if it makes sense, we try to give them the same team if possible. Next up, we have arguably the 2 most arguable choices, Arcanine and Metagross. I think Arcanine, with its naturally fast movements and it being regarded as a legendary Pokemon in eastern regions, I think Tobias would naturally like one on his team. Not to mention, everybody loves Arcanine. Now we go into Metagross. Since Metagross was used by the champion Steven Stone, I believe that Tobias was inspired to use a Metagross similar to Steven's. Not to mention, Metagross is a Pokemon with a lot of power, defense behind it, who would be perfect for combating legendaries that Tobias wanted to help capture or learn about or fight. Next up we have Zoroark. Yeah, I already explained this while I was covering the story, but I chose Zoroark purely because the color coordination, not to mention as a Gen 5, kind of teaser. And then we have Feraligatr, his starter. Since Heart Gold and Soul Silver out at the time, we didn't really get to see, we got to see the starters, but we didn't get to see their fully evolved state, so I thought bringing in Feraligatr as his starter would have made perfect sense. So we have a Gen 5 teaser and a Gen 2 tribute in one team. So I think this team fits him, and Noctowl, as I said, was a Pokemon he caught in the Johto region to help with, Darkrai's natural sleep tactics. So this is his team, and those are the reasoning. So that is the end of the video. Yes, this is the first episode of Pokemon Rewritten. The next episode will be on Astrid from X and Y, another character who we can all agree had incredibly missed potential. But after that episode, I do plan to do a vote on a straw poll, where those straw polls will be between Cheren from Black and White, Ryukyu from Sun and Moon. Well, actually, let's go with Hao from Sun and Moon. I want to do Ryukyu on his own, because I know I want to do Ryukyu, but I want to do Ryukyu on his own. So let's go with Hao from Sun and Moon, Cheren from Black and White, and then from AG, we'll go with Katie. Some of these characters already have really good personalities, but we just need to write them into the story, and that can work. Pokemon Rewritten aims to help characters with missed potential, or just bad characters in general, showing how they could work. Anyways, don't expect this series for a while. Don't expect the next episode until August, because I have this schedule packed. But don't worry, I'll make sure that the next one is just as good as this one. Samurai out.